The galaxy remembered the silence before the storm, when human space had been open, when the great empires of alien kind traded freely and shared their wonders. There had been a time when humanity was small, one among thousands, curious and eager to learn. But time had changed everything. Long before the warning was carved into the star charts of every known species, humanity had been underestimated. They were late to the galactic stage, stumbling into the void with fragile ships and bold hearts. The older races watched them with amusement. They saw primitive creatures who still bickered over soil and borders. Yet those creatures reached for the stars with hands of iron and will of fire. At first, contact was peaceful. The Velen offered knowledge, the Tavari shared technology, and the Ardent League opened trade routes. Humanity absorbed it all with alarming speed. What took other species centuries to master, humans achieved in decades. Their minds adapted, their engineers reimagined, and their soldiers learned faster than anyone had believed possible. Still, there had been hope that humanity would remain content within its corner of space. For a time they did. But then came the Car Dominion. The Dominion, ancient and arrogant, viewed humanity's rise as a threat. Their fleets moved first, not with diplomacy but with conquest. The Dominion struck at the colonies along the rim, expecting surrender. Instead, they found resistance beyond measure. Entire human worlds burned, but the survivors did not yield. From the ashes of those colonies came fleets forged in vengeance. The humans did not fight as others did. They did not retreat when logic dictated surrender. They adapted in battle, turning defeat into strategy. For every planet they lost, they took 3 in return. The galaxy watched in disbelief as the Car Dominion, a power that had stood unchallenged for 7,000 years, fell within a single human lifetime. And when the Dominion pleaded for peace, the humans did not speak. They ended the war with silence. The Dominion's capital was left in ruins. Its rulers vanished into the void. Other species began to whisper. Some called the humans heroes. Others called them monsters. The truth was more complicated. Humanity remembered too clearly what it meant to be prey. They remembered helplessness, and they swore it would never happen again. When the Ardent League tried to mediate, hoping to restore balance, they sent envoys into human space. None returned. The message was simple, transmitted across every open channel in the galaxy. No species crosses human space. For decades, the galaxy obeyed. But memory fades. New generations of leaders arose among the stars, far removed from the terror their ancestors had known. They saw humanity's isolation as weakness. They began to test the borders again. The first incident came at the edge of the Sol frontier. A small survey vessel belonging to the Nivari Collective entered what they believed to be unclaimed territory. Their transmissions ceased within minutes. When a Nivari fleet arrived to investigate, they found only wreckage, drifting quietly, untouched by salvaged drones. The wreckage was not destroyed by weapons. It had been dismantled, every circuit, every hull plate, taken apart as if examined by unseen hands. The Nivari protested before the Galactic Council, demanding justice. Humanity remained silent. No ambassador spoke. No transmission came. Only the old warning remained on every navigational beacon: do not cross human space. Years later, a larger power tested that silence. The Terran hegemony, a warlike species that thrived on conquest, launched an incursion fleet of 50 ships. They entered through the Perseus Gate, expecting to find abandoned defenses. The gate closed behind them. The hegemony's transmissions were erratic at first, then ceased entirely. Weeks passed before fragments of their ships began to drift out of the gate's far side. Torn apart from the inside, no bodies were found. The remains of their flagship bore a message scorched into its hull by controlled plasma burns. Leave human space be. Fear returned to the galaxy. Trade routes shifted away from the Sol systems. Cartographers began marking the region as the dead expanse. Even smugglers avoided it. Some said the humans had become something else, something beyond the biological. Others claimed they had merged with their machines, creating a civilization that no longer required contact with outsiders. Centuries passed. The galaxy evolved. Empires rose and fell. Yet the border of human space remained unchanged, silent and forbidden. The stories turned into myths. But myths have power, and one day that power was tested again. The Cora ascendancy, driven by curiosity rather than conquest, decided to uncover the truth. They sent a single research vessel, unmanned, guided by quantum intelligence. The probe crossed the threshold and transmitted data in real time. At first, it showed stars, quiet, empty systems. Then it detected structures, massive orbital rings around barren worlds, immense arrays spanning light years, and colossal stations that dwarfed any known construction. There were no visible life signs, yet energy readings surpassed anything the Ascendancy had ever seen. The probe continued deeper, broadcasting wonders no one could have imagined. It found Dyson spheres surrounding entire suns, their surfaces engraved with runes of human origin. It found fleets, millions of ships motionless, waiting as if asleep. Then the transmission changed. A voice spoke. It was human, calm and cold. "You were warned, leave." The probe's signal ended. The last image captured was of an eye, mechanical, vast, staring into the camera as if through time itself. The Ascendancy erased the probe's coordinates and swore to keep silent, yet rumors spread again as they always did. Some said humanity had ascended beyond flesh, ruling their empire through thought and machine. Others believed they had become guardians of something buried deep within their territory. A weapon, a secret, or perhaps the remains of a greater enemy. Still, there were those who could not resist temptation. The Drav Coalition, greedy for relics, sent scavengers into the Forbidden Zone. They found derelict stations and relics of unimaginable power. They also found sentinels, silent constructs shaped like men of metal. The constructs did not speak, did not threaten. They simply moved fast as light, and the scavengers vanished. After that, no one entered human space again for 1,000 years. The warning became law. The maps showed the human border as a dark void. Children of alien worlds grew up hearing tales of the ghosts who ruled it. Then, without warning, a signal broke the silence. It came from the edge of the old frontier, a simple transmission carried across 1,000,000 relays. It said only, "We are watching." The galaxy froze. Old fears returned. The council convened an emergency session. Empires long at peace began mobilizing fleets, each fearing humanity's return. Yet no ships emerged, no armies invaded. The message was followed by silence once more. The truth, however, was known to a few. Deep within their territory, humanity had not vanished. They had evolved into something unified, something patient. Their civilization stretched across thousands of systems, hidden behind self-replicating defenses. They observed the galaxy from afar, recording its wars and progress, ensuring balance from the shadows. They remembered the time when they had begged for mercy and received none. They remembered the empires that laughed at their weakness. They remembered the cost of underestimation. Humanity had sworn that no other species would suffer what they once did, but also that no one would ever threaten them again. Across their hidden worlds, the descendants of Earth watched through their great archives, keeping silent vigil. They no longer sought expansion or glory. They sought only preservation, and so the galaxy continued to spin, bright and full of life, yet haunted by the unspoken memory of what had once been unleashed. Every ruler, every admiral, every explorer knew the phrase that ended ambition at the edge of the void. It was inscribed in every academy and carved on every map.